Good evening. We are the 21st of March 2026 and we're down my local beach where it's kind of local to me. We're down Billy's Tower. There's nobody else in sight fishing tonight, just me. And this would be what you would call the last best of this spring tide. So I'm going to be fishing this tonight just up into the high tide till around about 12:30ish, and then I'll be off home. But yep, I feel relaxed and ready to do this session. And this time I'm actually recording from the beginning. If you don't know what I mean by that, watch my last video, which was the Dog Hill one. Rigs that I'm using tonight, I'm using the Nordic bends on my Portsmouth rig. These are 18-inch snoods, a 2.0 at the top and a 1.0 at the bottom. So it's good for catching all kinds of fish, this loop rig. And I'm going with the slightly longer snoods tonight rather than the 12-inch because it's not really that turbulent out there. So this is going to give it a little bit more movement. I do have some fresh lug tonight. I haven't got that many, but I've got some. It was very, very hard going to get some lug the other day. I managed to get 26 lug. Today I'm going to be using my Century Tip Tornado Supermatch graphics with the Daiwa 7HT Mag ST on that one. And then my other rod, like I did with Dog Hill, thought I'd make a change, just use my older Sonic SK4. Again, nice little, it's a nice little touch that is for a rod. Not that expensive. I'm gonna put a pulley next on the other rod. This is a 4.0 on the bottom and a 6.0 semicircle at the top. Oh, it might be a full circle, actually. No, it's a semicircle at the top. And of course, this is going to be for the bigger baits. Now, on my way to here tonight, I did actually forget my bluey. I bought some bluey and I forgot it. But I have got fresh lug, got squid, and I've got sand eel. So I think we should be getting something with those combinations. During the first set of videos, you could say last year into this year, I've talked quite a bit about the gear that I've set up and things like that, and my lighting, but I won't be talking about that as much. So if you do have any questions in this video or future videos where I'm not talking so much about the tackle and stuff like that, then please do go ahead and ask any question that you want. I'll try my best to answer it. The tide is coming in. I set up just before the bank behind me. You know, that's the kind of size lug that we're dealing with tonight. Not that big, but at least they're fresh. There is a tiny little bit of surf out there. Not much, but there's a little bit. I'm not going to put this very far out there. What I'm going to do is on the bottom hook, I'm just going to leave one small lug. And on the top hook, I'm going to be putting a couple of smaller lugs just to pack it out a little bit because they are rather small. I think one of the things about doing this, one of many, is the fact that there's always something to learn. And I think that's the really enjoyable part of it. There's always something new to learn, understand better. And that's why I try to pass on any knowledge that I have, and really appreciate it when anglers that have a much more wealth of knowledge than me can pass on what they know. And it really does help tremendously to be able to have that sharing of information. Well, of course these days we've got the beauty of the internet, so much can be learned from that. I'm going to leave my headlamp on, I think. That's it. So much can be learned from that. But it's the sharing of information from one angler to another that really makes a bigger difference, I think. So I'm going to use a whole squid and some small little lug that I've got as a cocktail here. Which one shall I put out first? We'll put out the pulley panel to my left first, I think. Oh. First cast, crack off. Oh dear. And I know why. The reason why I got crack off is because I forgot when I was maintaining my bearings that I left it on minimum. That is a real shame. That would have been a good start for the session tonight. I forgot to look at the mags. Okay, let's check out this. Yeah, these mags are not as low, thankfully. It's just a real shame that I lost that first one. We've got to move on quick. So the first thing would be, let's get another shock leader on there. Get that bird's nest out if we can. So we've got another pulley panel. I'm going to set it up exactly the same as I did the last one. Squid with some lug. At the least in which we should catch tonight will be dogfish. Look at that. It's only got a 3/0 full circle hook, and they don't actually look that big, you see, at all. Put the mags on 6. There we go. Good thing about these splashdown bait clips is that you can cast them off the ground and they will not come off. They're really, really good. So that's what we've got anyway. I'm just going to put that out there. I'll put that out there to the same location I was going to put the last one. We'll give it a quick flick off the ground. Finally, both rigs are out. Look at this, look. If I didn't have the layard on, that'd be gone right now. They just do not hold on well. It's hard to find. Sometimes it's hard to find where to put these things. I'm now going to set up another rig, and it's the one that I used the other day. It just took to clip down. Nothing special at all about it. I'm just going to put lug on that, and 6 ounce weight. This rig actually proved to be really good the other day. They've only got size 4 hooks on these, so they're not that big. It opens up your chances of catch. It's a pennel, but not in the conventional way. That it's actually got a little plastic top hook on there, but the main hook is at the bottom. See, very, very small, neat presentation. I will get a bigger lug put on there as well. I say bigger, they're not actually that big, but they're bigger than what I was using, so yeah. And this one's a clip down. Clips down on the cascade swivel. See that there? Nice and aerodynamic. I'm getting some bites on the left rod. That's with the cocktail squid and lug. I'm going to tighten up the left one, because I can see that line going slack a little bit there. Yeah, it looks like it might have broke the lead out. There's 2 snuds out there, so there's no need for me to jump on this so quick. Right. So the right one, that's a very positive bite. If there is something on there, it's not big, so I'm going to still leave it for a minute. Oh, that's a positive slack liner, most definitely. And the thing is with the slack liners is they can feel like there's nothing on there because they are literally swimming directly towards you. Keep that line nice and tight. Okay, so we've got a fish on. A doggy by the looks of it. This is our first fish for the night, and we have got a doggy. Bottom snood. So that's our first catch for the night. Dogfish. I'm going to get this fella back in the sea. There you go. So there's our first fish anyway for the night. That was a definite slack liner. No doubt about that. The lake's probably not going to last me very long tonight, but that's the kind of size that we're dealing with tonight. I'm going to tip that top snood off with a little bit of squid. We'll put a little squid head on there. Right, good anchor down on that one. Let's get this one in. Now this is the one that's got the squid on. So we've got another dogfish. On the pulley pennel. Be a good point to show you here that how the pulley pennel's working. It's really working well. The leads get pulled off the ground so it won't get snagged up if we was in rocky conditions, and then the fish is on the other end. So second dogfish for the night. It's number 2. Let's get him back. The dogfish are on tonight, so there's no doubt there's going to be more of them, but it'd be nice to catch something different. See that? Hopefully you're getting that on there. Yeah, it's totally pulled that out. I'm gonna put this down a little bit lower than the rest, so the bottom hook gets a chance. So I'll stand a chance of getting a double. Now the top snood and the bottom snood is going to be on the seabed. Looks like we've got ourselves a dogfish fest on tonight. Be great when we'd be getting into some rays and some bass. That'd be really good. So right now it's 10:32. We've had 2 dogfish so far, and the high tide is around about 12:32, around about that. I'll just double check. Yeah, so the high tide is actually 12:29 here. So we've got a couple of hours now. And that tide is really starting to push in now. So much so that I'm actually going to start to push my gear back because I know it's going to really be pushing in. Get myself on top of that bank, I think. I'm going to chuck a wide angle lens on. Last time I tried this wide angle lens, I got fog build up. Now we've got that wide angle lens on now, should be able to get much more in there. Let's see if I can sort my boot out. My sock is literally halfway down my foot. Half of it is because I've got really skinny ankles. My family call them skankles. So what do we have on those rods right now? Quick shout out to Liam. Thanks for watching, Liam. Oh, look at this, oh. Look at that. Cool. Just say your name, Liam, and got a nice hit on there. It looks like another dogfish, but it could actually be a double. Because remember, I put that rod tip down, and it is a double. You put that rod tip down if you've got like a loop rig, where you've got a top and bottom snood, and it puts both of them on the bottom. And now we've got a 2 for 1. Hence why it feels so heavy. Oh. There we go, look at that. There's a good old bit of weight on there. Top hook. Wow, that is surprising. I just realised what I'm looking at here. They both went for the bottom snood, but they just went for different hooks. Right. Let's see what we'll do with you first. See if I can save my Nordic bends. That's one. That's two. Right. That Nordic bend's well bent up. Okay, I don't want to get you again with it, mate. There we go. So, we got our double shot. Here is our double shot. Let's put these two back in the sea. And see if we can bend that Nordic bend back. So our Nordic bend has snapped, but we have a spare. I won't leave this hook line on the floor either. That could prick somebody. It'd be pretty nasty, that would. There we go. There's our spare Nordic bend. Let's get some more bait out there. Put this out a bit of distance this time. Quite a bigger bits of squid there. We'll try a bigger chunk of squid. There's certainly one fish on there at least. I'm going to leave it just for a minute. Once those dogfish get on there, they won't be getting off. You think about it, if it takes a pair of pliers to get the hook out, the chances of that coming out by itself is very unlikely. Which one to bring in first? But I certainly can't say I'm not getting no action tonight, that's for sure. I've got another dogfish. This one's lively, this one. So I've damaged another Nordic bend. But there you go. We are onto another dogfish. It's definitely the theme for dogfish tonight. Going to change rigs for the 2-hook clip down. Four hooks, size 4 hooks. Very small. Let's see if we can catch yourself a different species maybe. There's no guarantees by the way that they're those dogfish are onto things at the moment. Because that is flooding in, it really is flooding in. Unfortunately that bank's a bit of a hill climb. Actually it's not as bad actually as I thought. At least I'm on the flat now. I'm going to have to come over this way because there's an edge down there. Yeah, so even though I'm fishing at the front of here, when I'm up on the bank, I'm going to be into this over here. And my rig is going to get caught up as I'm bringing it in. So I've moved everything over. The more gear you got, the more trips you got. This will be my last movement now up the beach. There we go. We're up. We're up the top. Oh, we're at the top. My sock's fallen down on my left foot. It's 11:17 now, so we've got roughly an hour and then I'll be packing up and going. Certainly been eventful, that's for sure, with the old doggies. I swear in the corner of my eye I saw a few taps. I'm going to bring my rods down a little bit. They were put up high for when I was fishing in really turbulent waters a while back, and I wanted to get the rods, the line out of the sea because of the seaweed. So I've just put the rods down a little bit. So maybe time to bring in that right rod if I can't get an anchor down, because it's definitely gone slack. Hopefully the next hour I might catch something different. That'd be great if I do. Well, I can definitely say we've got a fish on the end. That looks something a bit different. We have got our first bass, I believe. Or is it a whiting? Ah, it's a whiting. I thought, whoa. Thought that's going to be the first bass of the season. But no, it's a whiting. That actually felt quite heavy, strangely enough. I wasn't expecting to see that. Must say, I was not expecting to see a whiting. So, there we go. We have ourselves a little whiting. Say hello to the camera. So, little tiny whiting. A ting, we will get that back in the sea. Anyway, it's a different species anyway. That was on the size 4 hooks. 2 hook clip down. It goes to show you, you just come down a hook size and it opens up a little bit to a different species. This one is lug, tipped with squid on the bottom stud. So be very careful now where I cast because of that ledge there. Oh, there's another ledge there as well. Now I'm going to have to be very, very careful. Let's get in the left rod now. Okay, we've got one dogfish, but it's a bit bigger. I thought there was actually two on there, but can't see any more movement down there. Either case, this is a bit bigger. That was on squid. So another dogfish. This one's a little bit bigger. This one's on squid. Let's put him back. I'm going to try sand eel, because I haven't tried sand eel yet. Any tiny sand eel. I'm gonna bind a few up. I'm gonna bind 4 up. I will take the head and tail off. Release those juices. Let's see what happens with sand eel. $11.49. We've got about half an hour left. So what I'm going to do for the next half an hour, I'm just going to rig up this small little one again to put back out. So far we've got a number of dogfish, so that's great. Caught some nice dogfish, caught one whiting, and about to put out the rig that caught that one whiting again, which is the 2-hook clip down pennel with size 4 hooks. And once I put that out, then we'll see if we get maybe another species or maybe another whiting again. Again, I've cast those rigs that I've been using so far, but this time I've put the right hand rod, which looks like it's getting a bite right now, to the far right, much more closer to the groin of the right hand side, and then the other one is more in front, but I'm certainly getting some bites on that right now. So I'm just going to put the camera back up on that. So I'm getting some nice bites on that top right hook, right tip. It's a different type of bite, it looks like, at the moment. Nothing big. There's definitely something on there. It'd be nice if at some point we get a different species. But it's great to just be catching, to be quite honest with you. It's nice to feel that rod bend and a little bit of weight on there. This actually feels quite positive with the weight that's on there. And the bites looks a little bit different this time. Now we've got a double shot. Looks like we've got a whiting and a dogfish. That dogfish is a bit bigger. Certainly feels it. Certainly got a fatter head on this one. But it's about the same size, I'd say, as the other one. So here's another one. We will get this one back. Yeah, this one's quite strong. And again, we've got another ting. Another little ting. We'll put him back. It's now 12:03. It's pretty much at the top of the high tide now. I will fish for another 20 minutes. I've got one more rig hanging there. I'm sure if I fish for longer I'll get more, but I only wanted to fish the high tide to the high tide point. So I will leave it out for a little bit longer. I will cast that 2-hook clip down with the size 4 hooks on one of those rods, and then the other rod I'll pack away ready to move off. Somehow tonight I managed to get myself lost coming here. I drove 1.5 miles past it. And I thought, seems like I'm driving for a bit long. I don't recognise this area. And I never have driven through here totally before. and I went through there and it ended up coming out at, oh, what's it called? Pevensey Bay. And then I realised, yeah, I recognised that big bend. I'm actually going towards Pevensey Bay. I was actually tempted to actually fish there as I was there, but then I thought, this is where I kind of plan to go tonight, so I just turned around and come back. You know, May, June, be quite nice. Start getting a view. But you know what? It's just great to be out and catching fish. So whatever rod I bring in will be the rod that I put that last rig out on. And then the other rod I will just bring in and pack up. It looks like I'm getting a bit of a bite on the right rod. Again, lug. The left rod has got the sand eel, multiple sand eels on, 4 small sand eels on. And we've got another doggy. So ain't no shortage of doggies tonight. And there's the next one. I think at this point there's not going to be much surprise as to what we're likely to get with this, but we will see. Right, we'll bring this one in and we'll pack this one up. This one's got a sand eel on. Well, that dogfish is fighting a bit, I tell you. He's the most liveliest one tonight by far. Oh, you're a fighter. And that was sand eel. This one's really fighter. This one really wants to fight. Look at him. He's really giving me a fight, this one. He's the strongest one of the night, that's for sure. you get a picture for being the strongest one tonight. If you're ever looking for a budget rod, second hand, that's cheap and it's really nice to cast, and it's got a sensitive enough tip that it can see pretty much anything. A well balanced rod, then highly recommend one of these. That's a Sonic SK4. This is the 13-foot 2 or 13-foot 3 version. There is a 16-foot, I believe, or yeah, but you don't want to go that long, really, not on these steep shingle banks. But yeah, I had this for absolute years. This has served me a long time. I've got to have had this at least 7-8 years. It does need some ceramics in some of the rings, but it's been good. It's really been a good rod. So for tonight, that concludes our session at Billy's Tower, the last 3 hours of the high tide. It's been eventful. There's not been a shortage of catches tonight, that's for sure. This is the last day of the best of the 3 days of this spring tide, and I'm really happy that I've caught the amount of fish that I have tonight. So really pleased about that, and I'm happy you could watch along with me to the very end of this. So if you like this and you want more content like this, hopefully we'll be getting some new species soon, then give me a thumbs up, give me a like, and please do subscribe. Only about 50% of you that actually watch the video have actually subscribed, so that'd be great if you can subscribe, and even better if you can leave some comments. That'd be absolutely fantastic. Anyway, I'm going to leave you now, and I will see you on the next session.